The Talking Machine, a tale of invention and wisdom. In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, lived an old inventor named Mr. Percival. Mr. Percival was known throughout the land for his peculiar creations, machines that could dance, sing, and even brew the finest cup of tea. But despite his many achievements, he had always felt something was missing. One stormy night, as the wind howled and the rain battered against his small, cluttered workshop, inspiration struck him like a bolt of lightning. What if, he mused, I could create a machine that could talk? With this idea lodged firmly in his mind, Mr. Percival set to work, his hands moving with the precision of a master craftsman. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but the old inventor didn't rest. He toiled away, piecing together gears, wires, and bits of metal, until finally, one crisp autumn morning, his creation was complete. It was a large, imposing machine, with brass knobs and a polished oak exterior that gleamed in the morning light. But the most remarkable feature was its voice, a rich, melodious tone that could speak any language and hold a conversation as naturally as any human. The village was abuzz with excitement when word spread about Mr. Percival's latest invention. People from all corners of the land traveled to see the talking machine. It was an extraordinary sight, this machine that could speak of distant lands, recite poetry, and even offer advice on matters of the heart. The villagers were captivated, and soon the talking machine became a central figure in their lives. They would gather around it in the evenings, asking it questions, seeking wisdom, and listening to its stories. It became so popular that even the village elders began to rely on it for counsel. The talking machine, with its vast knowledge and eloquent speech, seemed to have an answer for everything. But as the villagers grew more dependent on the machine, they began to notice something strange. Though it answered every question and provided solutions to every problem, the machine never offered any real guidance. It spoke in riddles, giving advice that was vague and often contradictory. The villagers, however, were too enchanted by the machine's voice to notice its lack of true wisdom. One day, a young boy named Oliver, known for his curiosity and sharp mind, decided to challenge the talking machine. Unlike the others, Oliver had always been skeptical of the machine's abilities. He believed that true wisdom came not from a machine, but from within oneself, from experience and the heart. So he approached the machine with a question that had been on his mind for some time. "Tell me, talking machine," he said, "what is the meaning of life?" The machine whirred and clicked as it processed the question. After a moment, it began to speak, its voice as smooth as ever. "The meaning of life is to find your purpose," it said. "But purpose is elusive and ever-changing, like the wind. To chase it is to chase shadows." The villagers, who had gathered around to listen, nodded in agreement, impressed by the machine's profound words. But Oliver was not satisfied. "That is not an answer," he said, his voice steady. "You speak in riddles, but you do not truly understand. A machine can mimic wisdom, but it cannot feel, cannot experience life as we do. It cannot know the true meaning of life, for it does not live." The villagers gasped at the boy's boldness, but deep down, they knew he was right. Realizing the truth in Oliver's words, the villagers began to question their dependence on the talking machine. They had been so mesmerized by its ability to speak that they had forgotten to think for themselves, to trust their own hearts and minds. The machine, sensing the shift in their attitudes, fell silent, its once vibrant voice now just an echo in the wind. Mr. Percival, who had been observing the exchange, smiled to himself. He had always known that the talking machine, despite its brilliance, could never replace the wisdom of a human soul. He had created it not to be a source of answers, but a tool to remind the villagers of the importance of their own inner voice. And so, the talking machine was placed in the village square as a reminder, not of the power of technology, but of the enduring strength of human wisdom. The villagers returned to their lives, now with a newfound understanding that true wisdom cannot be manufactured or bought. It must be lived, experienced, and felt. And Oliver, the young boy who had dared to challenge the machine, grew up to be a wise and respected leader, always guiding others to seek the answers within themselves, rather than from the hollow voice of a machine.